Howdy y'all. Today I want to talk to you about Halo Infinite's multiplayer tech preview, otherwise known as an alpha. Now I got the opportunity to play this past weekend, and thankfully I have the opportunity to play it next weekend with the introduction of Big Team Battle. But I wanted to just go over some of my thoughts I had over the multiplayer experience, my first impressions of the entire game, and heck, even some of the Academy stuff that I got to try out some weapons in. So let's go over all that right here, right now. First thing I want to discuss is how does the game feel? I know this is a big concern for a lot of Halo players. There's a lot of controversy that surrounds the movement in Halo. When you talk about adding things like sprint, sliding, grappling, heck, even clambering. A lot of those things didn't exist in the older games. Here in Halo Infinite, all of these systems feel great. I think my only small complaint has to be how sliding feels like it's a bigger commitment than I'm used to in other games. Once you choose a direction, you better be happy with it, because that's where you're going for the next couple seconds. It's very easy for enemies to telegraph your slides and to track you, even coming out of your slide, in the middle of gunfights. And so I end up using it to get out of engagements or even just to move across the map, more so than I would use it to evade enemy bullets or to mix up an engagement. All of the weapons in Halo Infinite feel very, very snappy. I'm going to touch a little bit on this later, but I was very impressed with how fast I was able to pull out my weapon, aim down sights, and get shots in on an enemy, even if my aim sucked. Now the animations, guys, don't even get me started on the animations. Every time I died, which happened quite frequently, and every time my health went down, seeing that health bar recharge, seeing the spawn-in effects, heck, the entire UI looks super, super polished. The scoreboard is super unobtrusive. The radar is a little small, but I think I could get used to it. And everything just does what it needs to do. I don't think there was anything that was on screen that I felt, why is this here, or why do I need this? It's just gets the job done. And that actually just reminded me of the highlight effects when you hit enemies. Guys, this is great. I'm a huge fan of this. When you don't have health bars floating over enemies' heads, being able to tell how many times I've hit an opponent and where I've hit them is great for callouts. It's great for following it up and making sure, as long as you're paying attention, that you secure the kill instead of letting it get away from you last second. Now I want to shift gears and talk about probably my favorite part of the entire Halo Alpha, and that was the audio they shoved in this bad boy. Not only is the soundtrack back, it's back and it's just as good as it ever was. Most of that is because I actually got to hear a little bit of Installation 04 while I was in the menu screen, but even the new music, you lose, you die hard, you get swept by a godly team of Halo Spartans on the other side, and you finish off that game feeling like $1,000,000 because this soundtrack is banging.
Defeat.
It really does feel like an auditorial expression of Halo Infinite's desire to move forward into the future, to bring forth a new Halo from the ashes that was the graphical controversies that surrounded their initial launch. But I'm really excited for this campaign, guys. If this is the type of music 343 is dishing out to us in the multiplayer, then I have no clue what is going to happen when Master Chief pops his head up on screen. And I don't want to get my hopes up too high, because it's entirely possible that 343 in their infinite wisdom gives us another Halo 5. Even if it's a dumpster fire, I know that hopefully we're going to have a giant orchestra inside that dumpster as it comes crashing down through the atmosphere. Now let's go ahead and talk about the Academy. This is Halo Infinite's version of a weapon testing / tutorial area. I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. It was nice having separate difficulty modes to choose in between, because sometimes I just want to play around with a weapon and see how it feels, and other times I want to go full targeting range and see if I can get a high score. A lot of the weapons felt interesting, some of them a little weird and off-putting, but I'm looking forward to getting familiar with all of them. Just to go over a few, the heat wave feels and sounds pretty good. It's just a little bit confusing on how to use. The sniper rifle is very snappy, more so than the other weapons, and definitely more so than the previous sniper rifles in other Halos. The Ravager it's interesting. I enjoyed it, but I think I'll have to wait to give more opinions on that one. And the Spanker rocket launcher is loud. It is loud, like very loud. It felt like when I shot that thing that 1,000 voices cried out and all at once were suddenly silenced. That thing is a tank, and I'm looking forward to using it on some Scorpion tanks because it looks great, it feels great, and that thing can do some damage. While testing out all these weapons and game modes, it's obvious I ran into a couple bugs. It's an alpha. I don't blame 343 for it. 343 for it. Man, that is so cursed. Holy moly. I don't blame 343 for it. However, I am going to go over them because I believe it's important. First thing is grenades. My grenades would not rebind. No matter what I did, when I tried to switch keys for those, it just did not work. I had to use the default key. All my other stuff swapped, except that. No idea why. Weapon swaps, kind of scuffed right now. I could use my scroll wheel and the single key they had set up to switch between your two weapons, but I could not use the 1, 2, 3, 4 hot keys that they had set up at the top for your inventory slots like you can normally in other games. So hopefully that gets changed in the future. Last thing is when I was in the armory trying to do customization options for my Spartan and weapons, all the stuff was infinitely loading. I couldn't apply any shaders or change looks or anything. So I was rocking the base look throughout the alpha, which is fine, but in the future, I hope that gets fixed. That wraps up just about all my opinions on the alpha and its current state, guys. However, I do need to talk about Halo Infinite in comparison to other shooters right now. I talked earlier about how all the weapons feel super nice, responsive, and it's just a great experience. I went to Destiny 2 after playing only a couple hours on the alpha, and this broke me. I have never felt so slow and sluggish on a game that I've played semi-religiously since it came out than I did after experiencing the alpha of Halo Infinite. For whatever reason, my brain just could not fathom the distance between the responsiveness of Halo's weapons and the responsiveness of Destiny 2. And maybe that's an engine thing, maybe it's an animation speed, I don't know. But whatever the reason, Halo Infinite is the game of the future because it is operating on such faster speeds than any of the stuff that's out there right now. Even some of the more fast-paced stuff like Titanfall. I've played plenty of Titanfall and gone back and forth between that and Destiny 2. No issues at all. And it's like Titanfall is a responsive game. I think this is a warning call to just about every shooter that's out there right now. Evolve or die, to be honest. I mean, it's not gonna be that bad. But there's such a difference in responsiveness that this is the future. Halo Infinite is setting the standard for years to come. This is what is possible, and try to follow suit. And I don't know if that means speeding up animations, if it means redesigning game engines, who knows? And maybe nothing happens at all. But Halo Infinite for me is going to be the standard in the future for how good a game feels as far as responsiveness, snappiness, and overall speed. So hopefully you guys get an opportunity to try out the game if you haven't already. Let me know what your opinions are down in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. I really do. I only got to play for a couple hours this one weekend, but I'm planning to play more this next weekend when Big Team Battle comes out, so I'm looking forward to that. And after all this time, I can say, yeah, I'm very happy that 343 took the extra time to put some more work into this game, to refine some of the stuff, and to get things feeling like they should, and looking like they should, to be honest. So, if you guys enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.